as the unexpected guru. So today I'm starting this new channel over here for anybody that wants to excel in any field. Like literally, I'll do my best to basically upload videos and how to and practice questions on, let's say, if you want to learn how to ride a motorcycle, update your driver's license to a class A such as CDL commercial driver's license, add endorsements such as tanker, doubles, hazmat, you name it, passenger, you name it. So I'll do my best to be running through some practice questions so that everybody is able to learn a thing or two. Again, English is not my native language. I speak like 10 languages, so I'll do my best to make sure that we're all flowing and understanding. And of course, we'll just be using the free websites here to basically just practice the questions and learn a thing or two so that we're 100% ready when we go to do our writing test and so forth. So I would highly recommend reading the manuals for any divisions of the test you would like to engage in so that you could further your knowledge. But with no further ado, let's get down to it. Today we're going to start with the tanker vehicles practice question. And again, to get a tanker, you just have to have your regular driver's license and then upgrade that to a CLP, which is a commercial learner's permit. And once you have your class A, whether class B or class A, you could then go ahead and partake in the tanker endorsement. And you will most likely just need to pay, I believe the fee is $5. Once you pass the exam, then you get the endorsement added to your commercial license. Then you'll be able to go ahead and haul like, gases. Well, no, tankers is just for like food. Let's say food grade, like milk and water. And then if you want to do any hazmat, then that's pertaining to, explosion and so forth. So let's do the tanker practice. And then down the road, we'll be releasing another video pertaining to hazmat and what you need to get your hazmat and so forth. So let's go ahead with this first practice question that we have on this site, Driving Test of Kentucky. And of course, you could always search on Google depending on what state you're in. So I'll be uploading different questions from different websites that will allow us to do the practice test. And I'll do my best to go ahead and narrate the questions. And each question we get wrong, we're going to see why we got it wrong. And if we got it right, then we just clap for ourselves. So let's start with this first practice questions that says 20 questions. And you have to get 16 questions to pass. And let's get with it. Boom. And we don't care when we're going to take the test. So let's go ahead with the first question. It says, the movement of the liquid in partially filled tanks is called? Is it waves? No. Is it surging? Yes. Splashing? No. So you just got to use common sense and select the one that best fit. So I would say the answer is surging. That's the movements that go side to side, and it could go front and back as well. So any movement. You would think it's wave since we were talking about liquid, but the answer is surging. Boom. It says when a tank is not completely filled, the liquid has room to move around. It can slosh back and forth or side to side. This is called surging. Which of these statements about tankers are true? Much of the load's weight is carried up high up off the road. That is true. Tankers can turn over at the speed limits posted for curves. Definitely true. Both of the above are true. That is correct. So I will go with this. Bam. It says tank vehicles have a high center of gravity, typically 5 or 6 feet above the ground. This makes a tanker top heavy, which makes it more prone to rollovers than other types of vehicles. Tests have shown that a tank vehicle can roll over at the speed limit posted for curves. To take an upcoming curve safely, slow down well below the posted speed limit. So it's highly recommended to go 5 and sometimes 10 below the speed limit to assure that you safely approach the curve And of course, as you slow down to approach the curve, you increase slightly your speed to maintain a solid momentum. And I do apologize in advance if my vocals aren't great. This is the first time, and I do have retainers on since I recently took off my braces. So it's not like the best time to actually record this, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. How does liquid surge affect the handling of a tanker? Surge lets you turn corners tighter. False. Surge can move the tank or the truck in the direction the liquid waves move. That is true. Surge increases the wind drag of the truck. False. This will be the answer. One of the reasons you must drive a tanker vehicle carefully is that liquid surge can push the vehicle in the same direction as the surge. This can be specifically or especially hazardous on icy roads where a truck may be pushed forward. A dangerous amount may be past a red light into an intersection. Great job on that. The best way to take a curve in a tanker is to slow to a safe speed before entering the curve and then blank as you go through it. We recently mentioned that, or I at least mentioned that earlier. The best option will be to speed up slightly. That is correct. Definitely after slowing down. Downshift twice. No, you do not want to shift or do anything while you're taking a curve. Brake lightly. It depends on the curve and what you're actually going through and traffic, but the best answer here is speed up slightly. The posted speed for a curve may be safe for cars, but not for tankers because of their relatively high center of gravity. Tests have shown that a tanker can roll over on a curve when traveling at the posted speed. The safest way to take a curve in a tanker is to slow down before the curve and then accelerate slightly through the curve. The liquid in a tank with buffles can still have what kind of surge? So the main thing is to know what buffles mean, and I can explain that. So basically, buffles are compartments within a tanker that have holes in it to allow the flow of liquids to prevent or to reduce the amount of front to back movement, such as surge. So with a tank that includes a baffles, you have a reduced amount of front and back liquid movement, liquid surge. Therefore, you can still encounter side to side, which will most likely cause a rollover if you still have that. So the best answer here will be the liquid in a tank with buffles can still have what kind of surge? Side to side? Absolutely. Front to back? Nope. Top to bottom? Negative. So the answer will be side to side. Buffalo tanks have bulkheads with holes through which the liquid can flow. The bulkheads significantly reduce forward and backward surge, but not side to side surge. So the risk of surge causing a rollover remains. Side to side surge can cause a rollover, similar to what we just read. Overspeeding? No. Rollover? Yes. Suspension system failure? No. A side-to-side surge exerts lateral, sideways, forces on the tank. Once a side-to-side surge begins, unless the driver takes action, the tank will keep swaying more and more until the vehicle rolls over. When your cargo tank has buffers, what handling effect do you expect? Same thing we went over. Tanks has buffers to enhance or to reduce the liquid movement from back to forward, front to back. So when you have tanks that includes baffles. What handling effect do you expect? The surge will be slower than in a tank without baffles. That's a possibility answer, but you always have to go through all the answers to acknowledge which is best. There will be less side to side surge than in a tank without baffles. That is false. There will be less front to back surge than in a tank without baffles. True. The main reason of baffles, which basically means bulkheads with holes that limits the flow or that enhances the flow of liquid and reducing front to back liquid movement. So this will be the answer. A baffle tank has bulkheads with holes through which the liquid can flow forward or backward, but with less force than if there were no baffles. This will reduce forward and back surge, making it less likely that surge will push your vehicle forward when you try to stop. When you load the small tanks of a cargo tank equipped with bulkheads, you should check the water content, air to fuel ratio, distribution of weight. When you load the small tanks of a cargo tank equipped with bulkheads, you should check the distribution of weight. Main reason why is if the tank is divided into several smaller tanks, compartments, by bulkheads, pay attention to the distribution of weight whenever you load or unload these tanks. Avoid putting too much weight on the front or the back of your vehicle. Common sense, you do not want too much weight in the front nor the back to cause the vehicle to either drop on one side or to cause malfunction. An emergency forces you to stop your tank quickly or crash. You should brake hard until you lock your wheels. No. Use only the emergency brakes. No. Use controlled or stop braking. Yes. This is best because sudden or hard braking can cause the liquid in the tank to surge forward, pushing your vehicle forward. If you must stop quickly, use controlled or stop braking instead. However, don't use stop braking if your vehicle is equipped with anti-lock brakes that may lock up the wheels, which will cause other issues that aren't expected to occur. You should know the outage needed for the liquid you carry because main key point here is to know what does outage mean. So the main reason why you should know the outage required is for tank baffles are not always legal with outage. False. Some of the heaviest liquids do not need any outage. False. Some liquid expand more than others when they get warm. True. Outage connected with expansion of liquid. When you have your tank filled to the top, then you down the road and it's 90, 100 degrees down in Arizona, the liquid expands, which can result to an explosion of a tank, which will not get you to your destination. So different liquids expand at different rates as the temperature increases. In science, the percentage increase of expansion for a given change in temperature is called the coefficient of thermal expansion. This value depends on the type of liquid you need to find out how much outage you will need to allow for the type of liquid you'll be hauling. You are driving a tanker truck. The front wheels begin to skid. Which of these is most likely to occur? The truck will roll over. That's a possibility, depending on the speed and so forth and the weather condition. You will continue in a straight line and keep moving forward no matter how you steer. That is correct. You got to picture yourself in an ice situation when you're skidding on an icy road. You could control or steer however you desire, but that vehicle will continue to go on a straight line. Why? Because it has no traction. Liquid surge will pull the tank from the truck. So that is not the best answer. So though the rest are true, the best answer will be you will continue in a straight line regardless of the steer maneuver you incorporate. In a front wheel skid, the front end of your vehicle tends to travel in a straight line regardless of how you turn the steering wheel. This type of skid is most often caused by driving too fast for the current driving conditions. Therefore, the best way to recover from this type of skid is to just let the vehicle slow down, steer, and brake only gently. Common sense. A smooth bore tank is also known as, keyword, smooth bore. An aluminum tank, false. A buffalo tank, negative. An unbuffled tank, yes. That's just basically a tank with no compartment. A smooth bore tank is another name for an unbuffled tank, a tank without bulkheads. Without buffles, there is likely to be strong forward and backward surge. Nevertheless, certain cargoes such as milk and other liquid food products must be transported in smooth bore. Unbuffled tanks, since sanitation regulation forbid the use of buffles because they are hard to keep sufficiently clean. In other words, if you're hauling water, milk, wine, alcohol, all those things that require to be cleaned time to time, it's necessary for a smooth bore because when you have compartments, it's difficult to keep it clean. How would you expect a truck with a cargo tank that has buffles to handle on the road? Keyword. A truck that has a cargo tank with buffles. The truck will handle the same way as a tanker without buffles. That is true. The truck will seem heavier than it really is. Because there will be less front to back surge than there is in a tanker without buffles. The key word is not how will it function with buffles or without buffles, it's how it handles. Technically, any truck, empty or loaded, it will handle the same on the road. Why? Because they're heavier trucks. Oops, wait, I selected the wrong one. How would you expect a truck with a cargo tank that has buffles? Yes, so technically, yes, buffles, there will be less front to back surge than there is a tanker without buffles. So the goal is to actually really read the question and understand what they're actually asking for. Buffalo tanks have bulkheads with holes to reduce forward and backward surge. This will reduce the chance that forward surge will push your vehicle dangerously forward when you are slowing or stopping. However, these bulkheads don't significantly reduce side-to-side surge, so rollovers can still occur. So yes, yeah, get the right answer there. Hauling liquids in tankers requires special care for which of the following reasons? High center of gravity, yes. Liquid movement, yes. Both of the above, yes. It takes special skills to drive a tanker carrying liquid cargo because of the vehicle's high center of gravity and the possibility that the liquid cargo may surge forward and backward or from side to side. The high center of gravity increases the risk of a rollover, and the liquid surge can push the vehicle dangerously forward or sideways, which can also cause a rollover. A buffalo tanker is one with separate tanks inside the trailer. False. We don't even carry trailers. They're called tanker or cargo tank. Bulkhead with holes that let the liquid flow through. Yes. Hollow balls floating in the liquid to slow movement. False. A buffalo tanker is one with buffalo tanks. Have bulkheads with holes through which the liquid can flow but with less force than in a tank without such bulkheads. You should be very cautious when driving smoothbore tankers, especially when you are starting or stopping. That's the right answer. Driving against the wind. False. Going uphill or downhill. Whenever dealing with a semi truck, it's always necessary to take these precautions. But the main answer they're looking for here is starting or stopping due to the liquid movement. Smoothbore tanks lack buffers or bulkheads to reduce forward and backward surge. When you start from a stopped position, the liquid will surge backward, pushing your vehicle backward. When you try to stop, the liquid will surge forward, pushing your vehicle further forward. Perform such action slowly and carefully. Okay? Empty trucks have better traction when stopping than full trucks. False. Stop quicker than when you use only the emergency or park brake. False. May require a longer stopping distance than full trucks. Yes. Why? Because they are empty. With all types of combination vehicles, the weight of cargo helps the wheels get traction. When a combination vehicle is empty or lightly loaded, its braking distance increases. The very stiff suspension springs and strong brakes give poor traction and make it very easy to lock the wheels. Remember that when you're loaded, you got traction. When you're not, you're blowing like the wind. When should the driver of a tanker that has lost its brakes use a truck escape ramp? Never. False. Always. Yes. Only if the tank has buffers. No. The answer is always. Escape ramps are designed with soft gravel, upgrade, or both to slow down vehicles that experience brake failure. On a downgrade, regardless of the type of commercial motor vehicle you are driving, if your brakes have failed, head for one of these ramps, which can save lives, equipment, and cargo. A tank endorsement is required for certain vehicles that transport hazardous materials, definitely, but we're speaking of tankers here. Liquids or gases? Yes. Passengers? No. So the answer is liquid or gases. A tanker endorsement required for certain vehicles that transport liquids or gases. According to the federal regulation, you need a tanker endorsement to drive a tank vehicle that requires you to have a CDL, commercial driver's license. A tank vehicle is defined as a commercial motor vehicle that transports a bulk of liquid or gas within one or more tanks that are either permanently or temporarily attached to the vehicle. When they say permanently, it's basically a cargo tank that is attached to your vehicle and don't necessarily need to be disconnected or cannot be disconnected. And temporarily, they're known as portable tank, which you can remove and get unloaded while you're not connected to them. You are driving on a clear night. You must dim your headlights from high to low. You should adjust your speed so you can stop within the length of your vehicle. That is necessary to know, but not the answer we're looking for. The distance you can see ahead, yes. You always want to basically maintain your maneuvers and control within a distance that you're able to see to avoid any accidents. The distance you will travel in the next 15 seconds, no. You are recommended to basically drive in the future. See 12 to 15 seconds ahead so you're able to maintain control. But the answer we're looking for is the distance you can see ahead, no matter what type of motor vehicle you are driving at night, even passenger cars. You must drive at a speed that lets you stop within the range of your headlights. In the dark, you have no way of knowing what lies beyond the reach of your headlights. With low beams, you can see ahead only about 250 feet. Yet, if you're driving a vehicle with air brakes at 45 mph, your vehicle stopping distance may be as long as 346 feet. Hence, with low beams at 45 mph, you will not be able to brake in time to avoid a hazard that you see. So I believe this concludes the practice test we have done. As you can see, we got 19 correct, 1 incorrect, and with that score of 95%. And of course, the officer tells you, you have passed. Okay, you are ready for the big news. The big news is you passed. Hope I didn't leave you in suspense. There, awesome job. Technically, you need 80 to pass, and I know at the DMV, the questions, I believe, they vary. They might be 25, depending on your DMV location, and need at least 16, if I'm not mistaken, to pass. 16 correct to pass. But overall, the goal is to know all, because if you're going to be behind the wheel, your life and others depend on it to get safe from A to Z. Again, thank you, dreamers. Hopefully, these practice questions have been so helpful and prepare you to tackle your exam. Continue again practicing, because there's always room for improvement. Come back again. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share and comment definitely your feedback so I can continue providing better content. Until next time, peace.